start recording, start streaming, and start streaming. Yeah, I'm streaming right now. I like to stream. YouTube, are you fucking? Yep, you do it. Let's see. Twitch usually gets the ball rolling. Yeah, Twitch is good. Twitch is good. Bitrate seems to be kind of fine. All right. I'm kind of yapping. I might play some games today. No plan. I do have a new webcam. I said that like while my face was away from the fucking microphone, so it doesn't help. Like here, let me yoink. I grabbed another cord and like hit a couple of glass bottles. We're not gonna worry about what those things are. But this is my old webcam. Well, I actually don't remember remember the fucking face thing for it, but I have a new one. It's a 1080p. This one was 720p. HD 720p though. Like I can't fucking see. Who cares? But I just hear straight yapping. Don't know what the topic is. I guess I kind of know what the topic is because yeah, no, I'm just hi, dude. I already know, dude. I already know who that first year is. Pretty sure. I'm like in a car right now, and no, I'm like call by myself, and like I'm over here vulnerable. Could be joined, could be not joined. Just depends. But just joking. I'm not requiring any joiners. But yeah, no. I'm just gonna start yapping away. But other than the fact that I got a new webcam, I'm obviously not making any money for this, but I'm spending too much money on this so far. I think the webcam is a nice thing because the old webcam is kind of dog shit. This new webcam, I think you can still see a lot of the noise over there. I don't have really good lighting, but it is a better webcam than 720p. It is 1080p, so it is better. It also, I don't know. I just hope that it increases the value of the stream, whatever. But uh. Oh wait, let me sit over. Let me do this with this right here. But I don't know, I think it's really funny because what is okay. Um I just beginning thing I was thinking about was I've been having a lot of anxiety over the like streaming, which I think is really funny. Not just streaming, but like I think that like in a previous conversation, it is actually just I think it's the last fucking conversation I had about like how when I take skills and I turn them into this could make me money, I start to freak out about them. And this is like one of those things where like I've never had this level of this much anxiety and this much is just like level of like throughout the days of just how intense it's been. Which is really funny. For how quickly it is onsetted in, which I will say it's not been bad. It's not been crippling. It's just an intense amount that I was not expecting. But because of the fact that it is one of those things where I do want to dedicate a lot of time to, I've just noticed it being a lot more intense than before. I think it doesn't help the fact that there's also numbers that go along with it. I think this is where a lot of people do get subconscious over the numbers, which is like, oh, I uploaded a couple of shorts today, and like they didn't get nearly as many views as the original ones, which it happens. And so it's kind of like what I have to expect, but it's just really funny because that's not even what caused a lot of the anxiety. It was more of a lot of these other things, a lot of these other thoughts I've put towards it. Um, so I'm just in a very currently weird position of like confused, a little anxious. But I've been trying to like think about like just trying to get places with streaming and things like that. So um, I'm still trying to just get my best efforts to um be somewhere, be entertaining, be something. Like the problem I have is that like I have two mixed views. I would love to just stream for fun. I would love to just hey, I'm making a YouTube video or I'm gonna stream and I think it's gonna be perfectly okay. But and then you kind of mix that with the fact that like I have like I want to have as a hobby. Um, but the hobby breaks down to two things. just hobby, and just like the hobby is me just how the fuck do I get good? And that's part of the reason why the hobby is great for me is that I love just like it's kind of like why I turn a lot of games into optimization based games. Where I just like, well, let me automate these things. Let me optimize this and automate. I'm not the best at it. When it comes to like Satisfactory, like I'm not gonna say gave up on it, but like I kind of like played it for a little, got anhedonic, and then gave up on it. And so I'll probably come back to it in some time. And I don't have Factorio. Factorio scares me because there's limited resources and things that come and kill you. And time pressure and pressure like that scares me. But like in a slime rancher, like I like have bees and I have like, okay, let me get all the slimes. Let me just sell every single slime plort I can on the market, except for gold slime plorts. This is slime rancher one. And like I try to optimize these things, and it becomes like a okay. I get a little snippet, and I'm like, ooh, I can optimize these things. Like when I saw the bee drones, I'm like, ooh, bee drones, and I start to optimize things where it's like all I have to do is feed the bee drones. And a part of my own existence is trying to optimize. Where I'm like, all right, let me get these things out. But I think the problem is that that's part of why I enjoy some things is how can I get these things done. Other because the thing is like I'm not sure how normal hobbies can be when it's just I'm just gonna casually do it. When it comes to things I could just casually do versus like I can go hard into. Like when it comes to battle song or like the bass, it feels a little bit different. Like with the bass or with the battle song, I've done some like more complicated tricks. So like I think the choker fan is a more complicated trick that I've been trying to learn. Which is really weird. I think the shortstop feels to me like a really complicated trick with my fingers, but it might just be my dexterity is not good. But what I think is just funny about that is that that's a little bit more casual for me, while I tend to not have a lot of that um like casual feeling when it comes to a lot of these different things. Like when it comes to art, when it comes to these other things, I feel this pressure to, and it's not just an outside pressure of I need to be. The problem is that there's outside pressures of like, hey, I need to be a human being. I need to be a person. I need to be somewhere. And like this is one of those things where I'd be like, I would love for this to be my thing. I would love for me to get an income from this. And while that is the case in which I want to do, obviously the likelihood is low. And like honestly, again, I don't need to be big. But part of the problem is that like part of the reason why I love streaming is again I love I love it. Except for parts of why I love it. Yeah, I can just yap to a camera, and like I've gotten okay enough at yapping at a camera. Am I that entertaining? Not really. But can I do it? Absolutely. And that's part of the um thing is that like I can get there, but then I go to this intense level of I want to get good. And this is the hobby part, just like staying in the hobby part, not the pressure part. And my mind's all over the place right now. I'll try to figure that out. Um, but like I'm just like I can get good. I can try to lock in. I can because I'm trying to figure out how can I optimize. And it's funny because I was talking to my friends in a call a couple hours ago, and I'm like, all right, I really want to know how can I um kind of just in a sort of that sense um like get more viewers, kind of get on that kind of YouTube grind, get on that Twitch stream, YouTube streaming grind, and making clips and things like that. How can I get like where can I go? I want to go upwards, and so there's part of me that has this innate like yearning. So when I see people like and this is not to necessarily praise them and sort of like, and again like I think I've talked about this in previous streams. I'm gonna say I don't necessarily dislike these people. I think I've disliked some of the environments that let's say Mr. Beast has created, but whatever. Not environment because he's a bad person. I don't really know who the fuck that guy is. Like I've never met that person. I don't fucking know. I like YouTube after who not really who fucking cares. Doesn't really matter. But people like Destiny like not Destiny fucking Dream and Mr. Beast have this capability to just observe, learn YouTube, and then figure it out, and then fucking crack that code. And the problem is that like I think that like I've met this with a lot of I've been another there is sorry I just keep getting the do you want AI viewers? I don't want fucking AI viewers, bro. Um, but there is I lost my sense of train of thought real quick. But there is this sense of like they learn these things, and uh, I'm someone who has been doing not to say the same thing, but like I watch YouTube videos. Like I was watching Ludwig today. I was watching a couple of these other people, and I haven't written notes yet on these people yet. I've just kind of gotten the feel for because like the thing is like I want to write notes. I don't necessarily know how they're necessarily gonna go because it's like okay, like I watch things at 2 times speed. You can watch with 2 times speed, listen to a little bit, pause it. Okay, but I don't really necessarily know what the where like the notes are gonna go. Like how does he make things entertaining and things like that. And so I've been currently kind of doing that. But like I've done that for a while. Like I used to watch YouTube videos and break down what I thought really made people the thing. I even like had this whole sense of like, okay, when you're the support for YouTube video or YouTube video or stream and different people like that, and when you're supportive, when you're bringing out the elements of other people, how big of a role does that play? Because I think it's a big role, and you know, you don't have to be the main person to be entertaining, to be there. There's a lot of people who are a bit more entertaining. So I think that maybe I have some level of entertaining. Like let's say my level of entertaining is a 3 out of 10 by myself, whatever, maybe. And then, but what if I could support somebody else where to maybe I was entertaining by myself could be a 3 out of 10, maybe they could be a 7 out of 10. And so like then you would be like, okay, then I'm affiliated with a 7 out of 10, not just my own content, but just like, oh hey, maybe they were a 5 out of 10, but with me be a 7 out of 10. So it's like together we can be more, add that things to it. It'd be great. But that part's not too important. So like I learned a bunch of all these things. Like, I didn't necessarily study these things well, and I think the problem that I have is I like um it's the same problem I have almost everywhere is in almost every subject. I think there's very few subjects that I have not been outdone in many different ways. But this kind of comes down to like when you see a lot of people on YouTube, I'm just gonna think about like this one person who was kind of summarizing the Lord of the Rings movies and and one day she was showing what was it? It was a she was explaining like some battle as like pure autism content, and I think it's really funny because like there's some level of like I want to be able to be that person who can just fucking learn about this shit, be able to like do these things and exist in that manner. But I have always been kind of upstage in that sort of sense when it comes to every single subject. Not every single subject, but a lot of these different subjects where it's a little damaging to my ego, and not necessarily like, oh, I'm the smartest person ever, but it's a little bit damaging to be somebody who I'm gonna learn something and all of a sudden just get like I know how little I actually know. Like when I go to back to like think about studying YouTube, I know how little I actually know. Because like if I knew more, I'd be more. Part of that has to go with skills. So maybe realistically, maybe in due time I'd be more. Who knows? But in this sort of sense, I think I realize that like if I had more ability in this sort of sense, I could maybe be more or whatever. Like let's say if I had the skill and my knowledge plus skill would be able to be more, but like I think that like I don't have as much knowledge. So like I kind of like been upstaged like there for a while. I think that like there's like knowledge of other kind of like things that like I've always just never had. But when it comes down to things like working out, like I'm somebody who's watched a lot of content. And again, because the thing is that when you're watching the content instead of say studying like studying the stuff, you're going to be upstaged by the person who is teaching the stuff. So you can only grow to the amount of where their content can lead you to. So let's say if like working out, a lot of it started with Athlete X. Um, and then it moved to which is really funny, Mike or not Mike, Greg Dulcet. And then it moved to Mike Rosiertel as being like, okay, this guy I watch a lot, and then now it's like a little bit of Mike Rosiertel, a little bit for some learning, not actually really anymore. And it, like I don't really watch a lot of workout content anymore, but and then it became a um Jeff Nippard, Jeff Nippard's a good one, but in that sort of sense, kind of like I never really went far. It was just kind of a basic level of knowledge. Same thing went to computers. Um, and when I started like working on like just learning about computers, I remember uh it kind of all started back when, because I was like, I want to become begin to tech. I'll get into a different story in a second, but I want to get into tech. One friend at the time had a Linus Tech Tips as his profile picture on Discord, and I was like, oh, that's funny. It's Linus Tech Tips, and I've seen a couple of memes from him, and I sort of started to watch content. And that's how I learned a lot of this stuff. It's kind of like through osmosis, where like I would absorb. Is it osmosis or osmosis? I don't fucking remember. Doesn't matter. And so like I would start to watch his content, and that's where I would start to learn, I guess, some of the things. And I think I did okay learning from the content. It wasn't the greatest thing. I just learned small things like, oh, sweep you, but like I never learned the nitty gritty, and I never really knew how to get myself into that. Um, and kind of it goes into a little bit before that is that like I've kind of done this a while. I remember this is kind of a very funny story, and like if I could ever talk to this goes this story from sixth grade. If I ever talk to him, please, for the love of God, I would love to have a fucking conversation with him because I think he'd be able to like predict and know what I was doing. But in sixth grade, um, I was in the honors gifted whatever fucking science core class, and like I wanted to be in the math class because I tested gifted in elementary school, and I get to middle school and they say, hey, actually, basically you can only be in the science class. You can be in advanced math, and the rest go fuck yourself. So I'm like, you know what? All right, that's it's fine. And and I go to that class, and then I was the biggest bum for a while, kind of just as I am. Like, you know, now I know it's like I have pretty bad ADHD, which has really negatively affected my life. And again, I'll get more into it in a second. But at a certain point in time, it starts to get into like we have to do a science fair project. And I was like, because I want to feel smart. Because like a part of my personality was being smart. Part of my personality was like in elementary school, like in fifth grade, for the math, I was the fastest person in the gifted part of math or whatever. Yeah, the gifted math, I was like I completed more math assignments, and because we had like very simple algebra based math assignments, and we would have to like the way we would complete them is that we had to get them all correct, and then we would move on to the next one. And like if we didn't get it correct, then the teacher could explain to us, or we can kind of go back and figure it out ourselves. And I did a lot of that figure out by myself because like it was faster. And I didn't really need it. It was a lot of time just small like oh, I forgot the ones, forgot the zeros, whatever. And so I progressed the fastest. Like I completed the most assignments and even started a little bit later because that's when I tested into the gifted program was that year. Um, and in that sort of sense, like, it was like being smart was kind of my big thing. Was kind of the thing that people, um, do real gifted. It is a real gifted experience. I think that's one of the scariest things is that like is that it becomes is why Dr. K's video is so big is it becomes part of your life. Um, to be smart and like everywhere else and like I started to become a liar in a sort of sense just so I can talk like which is really weird like what because the kids kind of do this but like what normal person starts to do this like I remember this is a really weird story my mom probably won't even remember this I remember telling my mom hey I found a secret level on this Lego Star Wars on the DS and I just wanted to just make up stories I just wanted to like I just wanted to wear you this and that like I was like there was no prompt it wasn't like hey what you doing right now it was just like I just wanted to tell a story that I made up in my mind but I had to lie about it first. I had to say this is what happened. I don't fucking get why I did that. But I think it's really funny. I just want to do that. But it became a thing to kind of like later on, kind of going back to sixth grade story was like science project and it was programming and I was like, hey, you want to program? And I remember like it was funny that there was a Disney Channel show that like was connected to coding, and you do like really simple coding, whatever. And I started to um, like I did a little bit of that, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Mainly, a lot of it was not my own. I didn't really understand what I was doing. I was like, obviously, when you're a fifth grader, you don't understand what you're doing. And what was really goofy about it was the fact that um, like I go into sixth grade, and because I didn't know how to stand out against these other people who were definitely really smart, um, I was just like claiming these things and just hoping that no one called my bullshit. And it was really funny because this one kid he did, and he's like, "You fucking cut your losses, bro, and just admit to yourself you don't know what the fuck you're talking about." He didn't say exactly like that, but it's essentially what he talked about. And I'm like, and I was fucking stunlocked because like like 'cause the thing is that like I think in most people's experiences, they wouldn't have the time or they wouldn't really give a shit to call somebody out. They're just gonna be like, okay, this kid's just fucking stupid. I'm gonna like leave him alone, even if they're the same age. But I think what's really funny is that like I think he is positively affecting my life calling my shit out. Like I am still very, very nervous, and it's really funny about like the conversation I had the other day with my friend Darman. It was funny because he was like, hey, like you keep saying like you don't know, like you keep kind of pulling your kind of words and acting and saying like, hey, maybe like I think this, and but like I'm not sure, but I think this, and I kind of do that in certain instance because of that. Because the thing is, I realize that like it's a scary thing to people to call your bullshit, but it's also like it's knowledge that like I'm not stupid. I definitely have a brain to me, but I'm not. I'm not like I gotta remember where my boundaries of like knowledge are and showing people my boundaries of knowledge because I love expressing my mind. I love being able to say it'd be oh cool these other things. It's something like I was saying like when I lied to my mom about this random DS thing. Like I told her it's like but you can't replay it again. Like you can only play it once. Just so that I could just so that like I couldn't be disproved, which is really stupid when you're a kid because like why would you make content you can only play once? And it's fucking stupid. But I just wanted to express my mind. My mind just wanted to run and I just wanted to express it. But when he called me out, um, he actually knew what he was talking about. He actually did a little bit of programming, knew what he was talking about. I think that's where the situation came in of like that's when I really, really started to do this spiral of a lot of poor poor mental health. Which is really funny because that year there was a couple of other circumstances that like it's funny because I state to like my therapist and a lot of doctors that like my mental health started to get poor then, but absolutely I had problems way more problems than I always quickly remember to because like eighth grade is when I remember getting depression. I remember just having this overwhelming sense all the time while other grades I had problems, but it's a thing that like ever since then I've just been kind of like I've been kind of like somebody who's smart. They're like this person has a brain to them, but isn't like nothing to do it with, and so like it'd be kind of like it's kind of like having an engine but no chassis to really get your car running. And so it's like it doesn't matter how fast or how much theoretical horsepower your engine can pull. Like it doesn't fucking matter if you don't have the tires to be able to run with it. And see, that's the problem I've had for so long with a lot of my things, where I've always just had this just brain, this mental cog, like this the it's funny because talking to a person recently is like this raster level ability where my brain can do it. Like given a lucky time period, my brain can solve problems. The problem is I've never been able to focus it enough to get someplace, some other place I can get there. But yeah, it's like being upstaged in a lot of different places, like the programming there. When it comes to working out, I think I still have a little more knowledge about working out than a lot of other my friends. This again because of how much like time I spent like watching some of these more science-based lifters, some of these more people, and also like lifting myself. But one of my friends, he's a lot bigger. Some of it's genetics. Also, there's a lot more dedication. He actually went on. I'm gonna eat food instead of me being like I'm gonna eat sub 1,500 calories daily. Not because I wanted to, it's just more of like I didn't want to eat, um, but like in that sort of sense, like there's upstaging there, and there's some sense of like I need my own personality, I need to be a thing. I can't just be whatever, and so that's kind of where a lot of my ego just kind of been. It's been kind of like a deeper and deeper realization because when I studied a lot of YouTube before, and again I've been studying YouTube for like years and it's very very inconsistent. So this is kind of like my Japanese level of ability where it's like if any normal person from would be studying the year amount. So like, oh, I've been studying YouTube for since what eighth grade, and eighth grade was back 2018, 2019. It's been 8 years now. I think dude, that'd be the goats at YouTube. But the amount of time I actually spent towards it, I did spend actually a dedicated amount, an extreme amount of time. I think that like enough for like would be considered maybe like college course and maybe the one semester. But the thing is, I also spent it doing stupid shit where I just kept watching the same micros YouTube video over and over and over again, writing it, like writing different weird little notes down. Like maybe it'll get me somewhere someday, or whatever. I don't have the I don't remember where the notes are anymore, but maybe you'll get me in a position where I'm somewhere else. But but it's weird because then you see these people who are actually successful, and it's I don't know. Life is difficult when you kind of just keep going in circles. I think that like a lot of people talk about like and I don't necessarily like the way that is oversimplified, which is really stupid because I oversimplify a lot of things. Is that people like depression is part of your brain just like thinking itself and understanding that like the I don't remember the exact quote I'm thinking. I think it's like a Twitter fucking meme or whatever that they post like depression Reddit or whatever. And this is not just one subreddit; it's like multiple subreddits. But it's like oh, overthink stuff, or it's like human life is melancholy or whatever because of like the smarter you are, the more realistic and smarter you are. Because like oh, the studies show that the more depressed you are, the more realistic you score on tests or whatever. And what's really weird about that is that like I don't like the oversimplification, but like it's what sucks about it is that like at a certain sense when you meet people, oh, is my thing doing AI? I don't know why it's doing AI. Sorry. I think it's because I had my hand up or whatever. Stop AI auto framing. Sorry. Let me fix my camera. You know, I can't see my dirty room. There we go. Um, but um, I forgot my camera did that. But now I'm distracted. But um, I kind of get to back to the idea. It's like when you're kind of doing things for a while and you just never get anywhere. It's really weird because like every not every a lot of things I try to do, I get nowhere. The very few things that I do and get more than just somewhere is like working out and a little bit of psychology, and even in the psychology is somewhere, but it's more than just that. But like it sucks because like when it came down to like I was reading anatomy physiology. I read like three chapters of the anatomy physiology of a textbook that I found on the internet. Um and in that sort of sense, like three chapters is not a lot. I understand some small amount of information. I will still like in my mind continue to use all that information, keep using it over and over and over again. But I don't necessarily have um I don't have that much from it. And again, when it keeps getting upstaged by a bunch of different things, I don't know. What life is, if you were ever in the position, I think there's a lot of people in my position. There's a lot more people than there's a lot less people. There's also a lot more people in my position than I would like to understand or can understand. Not necessarily like to understand to where honestly you just kind of feel like you're going fucking nowhere. Like genuinely, like you're you're in the passenger seat to your life. And this is what I tell like a lot of people. Like, a lot, like I talked to like one big thing I talked about in streams constantly is this free will thing. And why do I talk about it so much? Why is it such a big topic? Why is this such a thing that I keep bringing up every single time? And it's a thing because I've never felt I've been in the front seat for long enough to ever go anywhere. Like like when it comes to working out, I felt like even the things I've gone places to where I'm kind of happy with, I still understand this lack of control, and it really is demeaning when you observe even your greatest strengths, you're still fucked. Because like like with working out uh, sometimes I just want to get consistent. I just don't fucking end up consistent, which is fine. Like happens to a lot of people. When I want to get on a bulk, I just can't get myself to do it. Like I remember eating 6 eggs for like 3 days straight, and then just never being able to do it ever again. I just like I every now and then would make 6 eggs because I would be like, oh, I'm hungry and like make it whatever. But like I couldn't get myself to continue doing these things. 6 eggs is not obviously the best idea because eggs actually have a very very low amount of protein. Better just like do whatever else. And like I think if I approach it, I'd approach it in a different way. But it's not important, and so it's just difficult. But when it comes to these other things, like when it comes to psychology, it's like I've learned a lot of things on my own. I've read book after book after book. Like I've read, like, realistically, I think like in just a couple books. Um I've taken a core like a motivation reviewing course, and so like non-clinician based things. So I don't have to get a certification to do those things, and like yet it lands me nowhere. The farthest places I've gone, I haven't been able to get places with it. Uh, like again, working out, I fell in the back seat when it comes to like reading like psychology. Like the only thing I can consistently do is watch Doctor K, and then he goes into um like the next thing being the only thing that like I could do when it comes to like I haven't been able to do school very well. I can kind of do it. Working out, I just work out. Like I work out somewhat consistently inconsistent. Like I will try to work out 2 to 3 times a week, and yet sometimes like I just can't. Sometimes I'm sick. Sometimes I'm depressed. Can't really control that. But the thing is, like at some point in time, I'm just in a position of just being fucking just spit roasted in a shitty way of life. I don't get to be in control, and it's weird because like like I was watching before a stream. I was watching this streamer who has a lot of very funny clips, and I'm kind of surprised he isn't bigger. And again, I want to understand why he isn't bigger. Why where is his cap? Why isn't his like where does his cap lie? Of his what is the if he had a very lucky situation where somebody had 100,000 concurrent viewers, and these are people in the general context of his stream, where these are people who maybe 100,000 viewers who might want to watch him. What is his cap? How many people are willing to see that? And again, you can't really control things like that. I'm not sure how that fucking works. Maybe caps are way bigger than I can ever expect. But like the reason I think about caps is people like Carly Stream, she went from 60 to 70 average viewers to then to the position of being um, like 2,000 to 3,000 average viewers. But like I was watching him, and he was kind of funny, which is again not too important. I was just trying to figure out, trying to like grow, see, okay, what can I do from him? What is he doing to be funny? How is he doing these things? And he had a clip talking about like how he's like, oh, I'm gonna really got upset with my therapist because like he can't just stew in the depression. He can't just stew in it. And like like I've been in therapy for I'm not in therapy right now, but like I've been in therapy so long, I've even just passed therapy doing so long. I've done the insane amount of work on myself. Insane amount of time has spent towards to fix my problems, and like I am not yet able to say I don't get to stew my depression anymore because like part of it is I haven't been able to be successful. I can't escape the anxiety. Again, maybe it requires TMS. I've been told by my therapist, by my psychiatrist, I should try TMS. I think that is the way I want to go because there's not a lot of options in my life. To I the exercise I tried or failed. The antipsychotic or failed. Maybe whatever I might try an SNRI, so selective serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor. So I might try one of those. Maybe because I just have an abundance of just thoughts just fucking running. I have depression, I see autism, and maybe stimulants would fucking help. But like not a lot of options. But it's weird because like I think that like maybe if I found success in somewhere, I would be able to be like, hey, I'm fucking okay. Because the thing is that like, and that I don't know where that success can be. I don't know if that success is. Uh, I don't know if that success is possible. Um, I think it is. Like maybe finish school and get a job somewhere. But like, what if I don't get a job from my schooling? What if I can't? I don't know. He's never been able to go somewhere, and learning Japanese hasn't gone somewhere. I continue to take L's, and like it's hard to not think about how I lack free will so bad when you're, because people talk about how, oh, I feel like I was in the, I remember it was a random thing, they were saying in Talk to Me, the horror movie that was directed by YouTubers, how you feel like you're in the passenger seat. Life like me, sure, I think I'm in the driver's seat. I presume I am, but when you retroactively look at your life, and when you look at the future and you look at the projections, when you always feel like you're not even the passenger seat, you don't get to be the luxury of the passenger seat. You are in the back seat. You are in the trunk. You are somewhere where your life, you don't get to control that. It's super demeaning. It is super depressing. And again, this could be a depressive thought. This could be the depression talking, but like it's hard because I don't get to fight against that. Being like, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Because the thing is that like when I'm outside the depression, it isn't like I'm six. It isn't like I'm finding whatever. Like again, I talked about yesterday being the action orientation is great, but at a certain point in time, you become tired. And I love action orientation. It's what keeps me able to be going in some places. It keeps me streaming. It keeps me playing the bass. It keeps me flipping the ballad song. It keeps you working out. But the thing is that like it doesn't keep this overly strong sense of just getting fucked by every like direction of just like you're not in control. But I don't know. It sucks. And kind of going back into the topic that I first started about with the YouTube thing is that like been trying to grind and a lot of anxiety there and kind of getting into a lot of stress and feelings in that sort of situation. But um I think that I'm gonna continue trying. I think that like maybe I will lose low motivation. I think I definitely can tell I'm getting a little more depressed recently, but still gonna just try to continue uploading. Still gonna try to figure out what I'm missing. I think what sucks is again when it comes back to just being the upstaged, it continues to happen time after time. And I think this is one of those positions where like YouTube, maybe I'll never be able to find what I'm looking for when it comes to like, hey, I'm gonna study YouTube to figure out what is just that thing. Because I've studied a little bit, but on the surface, I was like, okay, your personality, the way you can react to the people, the way you can adapt, and so a lot of it is like quippiness. It's like, um, I think that like even last time I streamed, like Darman said something funny or something else, and I didn't know how to react. And so part of like not only direct can help you with reacting. Maybe there's your reaction yourself. It's like, yeah, I don't know how to react there. I verbalize it a little bit. Don't really know with that. Um, and in that sort of situation, um, I don't I don't know if I can find that. I don't know how easy or uh how in over my head I am when it comes to trying to figure out information. But I do have that sense of I'm gonna fucking figure it out. I don't fucking care. Because I'm just gonna do the fucking work to figure it out. But it has not been an easy one just to continue doing. But going kind of past that is that I don't know. It's I actually don't fucking know what I'm talking about anymore. But when I try to do things, I'm gonna continue just trying to push into this environment of being more like just entertaining, more learning, whatever. I'm gonna continue to just try stream, continue going on from there. But it's really weird because this stream, like I was thinking about it, was need to be a little more lighthearted. And a big thing I was learning is it's just a lot more lighthearted. A lot of these random people, and again, it doesn't have to be lighthearted. It doesn't. One of my friends had a conversation. It doesn't have to be lighthearted. Maybe I can be more serious in this sort of specific times. And there's a lot of YouTube videos where people are serious, but I don't know where there's some level of like great to be serious. I want to. It doesn't matter about serious. I want to find what makes people fucking big and just fucking go for it. Like maybe not myself. Maybe I'm a fucking coach. Maybe I get somewhere, but maybe I have to be a coach for other people. Fucking great. I don't give a shit. Like maybe I understand how the sport works, but I don't know how. I can't do it myself. So maybe I do have to be the coach, like I said. Um, and so I wouldn't mind doing things like that. It would make a job out of two things I love: figuring things out and fucking teaching people how things like work. I'd have to learn some organization things like that, but whatever. Um, but yeah, it's funny because like it's gotten super fucking depressive, uh, which is I think just it's very indicative of my current emotions. It's been one heck of a which is really funny. I always say one hell one I don't even know like one hell one heck whatever. It's been a lot. Um, fucking life has been a lot, but even recently, it's just been a lot on my mind, a lot going on, a lot of things I don't control, a lot of it being not very happy feelings. And just it's not just about anything. I like not anything specific always. It's just not everything. It's a lot of situations I go to. It's just feeling unhappy. Um, I'm gonna get a side tangent of just like not knowing what to do for a job. I think this is where I'm becoming a lot more unstable again. Which is really funny. Was like I kind of currently give it up my plan for the future of just like school. I'm like I fucking don't care anymore. Um, and I think this is current mentality because I know it can absolutely change. I think that like maybe if I get a fucking stimulant and actually feel in the fucking front seat for for once in my life, maybe I can like be in control. But currently, I've been beaten up so much to the point of where I don't know if I want to just do it again. I don't know if I want to just have my shit rocked over and over and over again. Um, but same thing for work is that like it wasn't even as bad as school. School's just been a shithole for fucking years. But but when it comes down to working and things like that, I don't know if I want to go through this fucking endless pit of just doing things and like I am going to say this in a very roundabout way. There is a cap on time on this world that I currently have, and I don't. And the reason I'm doing this is because like I believe Twitch is very much against some things being explained, and also YouTube, I guess. But I have a cap in time of how much I am wanting to continue on existing if I cannot find peace. Um, and part of like job is like I would love to just find a job and just be able to find that peace in the job. Just I would love to be able to sit there at a job, be like, I can do this forever. Like, and maybe it's still hard, but I could do this. It's not gonna be. I'm not gonna. I don't want to sit there at a job and like at the beginning of it being like this is a ticking timer, not just like oh I could do this for 40 years, or I could do this for 10 years or even a year. It feels like a ticking timer of like is it going to be this month? Is it going to be next month? How many months do I got? And at a certain time, it's like I even overestimated the amount of time I could thought I could do last job. Again, last job was a little more intense than other things, but I don't know. It's a dude. I am dude, definitely feeling that depression kind of seeping through. I have not been dealing with those emotions a lot very well, which I think is really funny. Which is kind of funny because this is currently like a like a journal right now of just my emotions, just kind of fucking spitting them out. But where I am now is just it is a very melancholy and downtrodden feeling of just there's just like even there there is a cap on a future that I have that when even though if you accept it, even if you realize, hey, this is the way it is, it doesn't make you feel any less sad about it. Because like even if you don't want to continue to go on living a full future, um, you still don't escape this downtrodden like feeling of just like, damn. Especially the amount I fucking tried. Like I think that's what's hard about it is that if I didn't fucking put any effort in, it'd be like sure, but the amount of fucking effort I put in is what makes it really hard. Is that reminds me of a lot of situation I was in the past. Was I remember my parents were like I don't expect the best grades from you. I don't expect A. I don't expect perfect from you. I just expect you to try. And this is probably one of my more sad stories I think about, and it's what makes it's what fucking ruins my life currently. Not exactly, but it's something so just hurt hurting in my life. But I remember them saying that, and I remember going from fifth grade to sixth grade in this summer. And so I get my progress report. I get it. And my parents don't really ask for it yet, and I'm like super happy about that. I didn't have to ask for it right away. And I go to my room, and like like the dumb kid I was, I put it in a folder, and I prepare the speech in my brain, and uh, and I was just telling myself, I was like, hey, I was like, the speech was like, hey, like I know I didn't get good grades, but I tried. I remember because it might have been fourth grade. Or I don't remember if it was fifth. I think it was fifth grade. I don't remember. I just remember doing it, and I remember being going to the summer. I remember being. I think it was I wanted a new video game or something like that, or whatever. I remember just wanting to go to them, saying, "Hey, I know how you guys said that you don't expect to get good grades, and you just want us to try our hardest, try our best, and I tried my best, and when like I shit you not." The fucking creme de la creme of responses that can fucking ruin a child is what is what I got was I prepared that, and of course kind of like as you always do when you prepare as somebody who doesn't have great social skills, when you prepare something it doesn't go the way you want to go, especially when you say it, but I said and explained it enough, and I remember getting the response of like no you didn't, and I don't know how to tell somebody, especially when you're in fifth fucking grade, how much that's gonna affect you for the next, like, was it fifth fucking grade? How old was I? I was 12. It's been 9 years, and that's been, and like, my parents are more understanding now, but like, damn, 9 years and still, even if it's not my parents, if it's not anyone else, it's myself, it's this world, it's like, like you can try your best, but you don't get to say you don't get to be the one who determines if you tried your best. Because people love when people try their best. Like we like even this is why I love so many movies that not just movies, but like things like sad things like Edge Runners. It's people like David who in Edge Runners where he is he's something else. He can use the Sandevistan and use it like no other person. He is different. And no matter what he did, he knew wasn't he wasn't gonna be I forget his fucking name. I played the game too. But he wasn't gonna beat him. He wasn't gonna beat him. He wasn't gonna be able to not go Cyber Psycho. He just wasn't that. And like what's even worse and what's more kind of depressing is that like I'm not even I'm not even just trying my hardest in that level. I don't fucking get there. And it's very funny. I am what the anime equivalent is the people like in let's say Demon Slayer. I'm the anime equivalent of the two kids who guide Tanjiro to break the rock. The two ghost kids, the two spirit of the kids who guide Tanjiro to break the rock. The kids who were going, they were trying. They didn't get somewhere. Like they were better than Tanjiro at that during some of time maybe because they actually were sent. I don't know if actually I'm gonna guess that they broke the rock, but like they were going somewhere. They're better than Tanjiro for time. They could beat him, but then they were outpaced by me. He did better. I am them. I've never been able to, and even though I'm still alive, I've never been able to surpass that level of not being the person who has tried but failed. It's a like this is way more depressing than I thought it would be, but damn, like it genuinely, it's just like it's never been just the like been me. Like this is why it's like if you ever really want to feel like you're not the main character of the fucking anything, is even when you fucking try to do your best in other places, in other things, in anything you do, fucking leave my life. You'll never feel like uh, a fucking main character ever because even the things you're good at, you realize that you are not just second, you're fucking worse than even the fucking average. Maybe I don't fucking know anymore, but like it's to say it's a hard life. Not even again, not even because it's I have to do manual labor and like I'm lucky right now. I'm fucking 21, turning 22 this year, and I worked for 2 months basically, and like I went to school for a semester. It's like sure I get lucky there, but like it's a hard life. It's difficult to want to be able to wake up in the morning, but um, I don't know. There's a lot that life kind of just throws my way that I can't just fucking tank anymore. But and then I wake up one day ready to fucking tank it, and then a couple weeks later, then I'm not. But so it fucking happens. But I don't know. I'm just guess I'm just trying to take my life into just doing things. I just do it, whatever. But I don't know. It's difficult, and I still think about just wanting to get places, but it's hard to ever want to get places because this is part of what depression does. Is it builds a um a core belief in your system, and this is some core belief is that no matter what I'll do, it won't fucking matter because it hasn't, and it's hard because like there's ways to build against that. Like a lot of people when it comes to depression it's a lot of therapists will be like, okay, let's look at situations where you did and where you didn't. It's like, yeah, like I definitely have, but you can't, you can't beat the fucking continuous L's that like I continue to take, which is great. Like you cannot. A lot of people live in very shitty situations, but like you can't beat this level of like, hey, you're gonna take the fucking loss, and it's just the way it is, and it's not gonna help. Cause like, how do you help somebody where their core belief is no matter what you do, you're not in control. You're not in the fucking driver's seat. You're not even in the passenger seat. You're in the trunk. You're in the back of the car. You're you're there. You're somewhere. Uh, not in control. But how do you tell somebody with that core belief, hey, what about the days you did well, when they're currently going through that every day of their life? Like, this is where you have to adopt this of I just do things. Is that like, because I can't fucking win anymore. Like I can't win, and that's why like I have to adopt the view of I do things because I don't fucking win, which is a very sad thing to say, but um, my life is just fucking do things now because and it's like and I think like oh man like it'd be great if I can maintain those thoughts and can't really just yet maybe one day I become so good at just doing that I won't ever have to think about this anymore. I won't have to ever think about the fact that like I continue to fail after fail after fail. But I'm not there yet. And so instead of learning to be action oriented because it's going to make me feel more positive, it's going to be it could be the reason why I'm able to continue living. And that's kind of like a hard thing to think about where it's like so many other people get to say, "Hey, wow, this made my life a lot better." They get to go from 0 to 10. I have to go from fucking minus 100 to like fucking maybe minus 80, minus 90, minus 50. I don't fucking know anymore. But like again, I will step up to the plate and fucking do things. That's what I'm kind of doing right now. Is I'm stepping up to the plate. But by all fucking means, God, is it hard to step up to the plate when you are fucking beaten to submission by like it doesn't fucking matter when you step to the plate. You're just gonna fucking get it's gonna be three strikes Every single time. Maybe hit the ball a little bit, but someone catches it. Not quick enough. You like hit the ball. It's like, well, that fucking sucks. But like you get somewhere, but you never leave anywhere. But I don't know. It's hard because this could just be a time thing. I'm fucking 21. Maybe this is a time thing, but you can't tell somebody it's just a time thing. It's just you're gonna have to wait till you're fucking 27, till you're 30, because like I'm not 30. I'm not gonna be 30 yet. I'm not gonna be 27 any fucking time soon. And it's hard when you see people who are those ages and you're like, fuck, they're in a bad position. I think the difference is I'm maybe actively trying to go somewhere. Maybe I'm thinking about trying things, but even thinking about trying things has not gotten me there yet. So who fucking knows? But yeah, no, I'm kind of moving away from a little bit of topics. It's become a little bit too depressing. Thanks for watching, and remember, I kiss men for the love of the sport.